Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Kinetic Impressions Movie News. I'm Arnie.
I'm Andy.
And today we're going to be talking about a new film by Joe and Anthony Russo entitled The Gray Man. This news story comes from us from the wonderful people at slashfilm.com. I'm going to read an excerpt here. The flick stars Ryan Gosling and Chris Evans as two former colleagues who end up in a game of cat and mouse. Based on a book, the story follows a deadly duel between killers as freelance assassin and former CIA operatives. The CIA operative is hunting for the contract killer. Joe and Anthony Russo are directing with a script from Joe Russo. The hope here is to launch an entire film franchise, with Joe Russo saying the idea is to create a franchise and build out a whole universe with Ryan at the center of it. We've all committed to the first film, and that's got to be great. And that's got to be great to get us to the second film. That has to be great to get us to the second film. These are master assassins, and Gosling's character gets burned by the CIA, and Evans' character has to hunt him down. Anthony Russo previously said, the movie is a real mano-a-mano between those two great actors who represent two different versions of the CIA in what it can be and what it can do. For those who were fans of Captain America Winter Soldier, this is us moving into that territory in a more of a real-world setting. That's what this movie really means for us. I'm in. I mean, I'm in for the concept. I'm in for the actors, the people behind the camera, and all of those things. The only thing that's kind of just like singing me raw here is just this infatuation with Joe and Anthony Russo trying to create franchises. Like, you know what I mean? Like, let me first ask you, what do you think about this movie? We'll talk about the franchise thing, because they've been trying to do this, especially with a couple of their former Avengers before. But what do you think about this concept, my man?
I think you're right. So I'm glad we're going to talk about that, because, yeah, the only thing I have a problem with is like, are these guys really franchise builders? I love. Don't get me wrong. I mean, I've watched Endgame again just because it is a good movie, and there's just moments. There's moments that they know how to really call back from movies. There's stuff that like emotionally hits you because it's a callback. You know what I mean? Like, there's nothing like watching Captain America at his wit's end, you know, towards the end of, and he buckles that last strap and he says, you know, I can do this all day. And, you know, like, and you count them, you know, like you count how many times he says that. But like, I'm not going to lie. I don't know why I teared up at a fucking superhero movie, but like when he does that and his shield's broken and he's wielding that hammer and Falcon comes in, he's like, on your 6, I'm just like, oh man, I teared up, man. I choked. So
absolutely.
I respect these guys because of that. I like this concept. This sounds really cool.
Yeah.
I think Chris Evans, I hope Chris Evans is the good guy. I don't know who's playing good cop, bad cop in this scenario.
Yeah.
Did it mention it in your article?
So it just mentions that Chris Evans is going to be the burned CIA agent turned assassin. And then Gosling... I'm sorry. That's reverse. Gosling's character gets burned by the CIA, and Chris Evans has to hunt him down, right? So
yeah, I think I love it if Chris Evans is the cop, is the guy chasing Ryan Gosling. Mm-hmm. I like this because I think this could be like what we've always wanted with, you know, like the drive character that Ryan Gosling always wants to portray, but now he actually gets to have like this. You know, he gets to have this reason why it's very espionage-y kind of type thing. I think he has really good chemistry with Ana de Armas, who is also in this movie, I believe.
Oh, yes.
And I love seeing her as that sex robot slave in 2049.
Yeah.
Blade Runner 2049. And then I was looking at it, and I don't get how the bottom of this article says, oh, by the way, Billy Bob Thornton's in it. I was like, you can't just pass over Billy Bob Thornton and like,
And it's true. You're right.
and this guy Regé Jean Page, who's the new Bridgerton guy, I think. And so like you can't just
Yeah.
pass along these people. These are good guys. Like these are big guys, and so these are big names. Is what I'm trying to say. Like this is
Yeah.
gonna be there. I think they're gonna try to build this franchise out, and it goes just back to what you're saying. Um, can they do it with something that's not already like set up though? Like I get kind of scared with this.
It is difficult to create a franchise because a franchise, in order for it to be a franchise, it needs to be a successful movie first, right? And then when you go into a project completely wanting it to become a franchise, I mean, you end up creating a piece of unfinished work that on the surface you can feel was meant to be told as a longer story. That is my initial reaction to them wanting to do that. Now, I do want to speak about this concept and the movie itself and this thing. I feel like this is really good. Like, I really want to see Ryan Gosling be a bad guy. I want him to be a villain because I don't think we see Ryan Gosling as the bad guy. Right, and I don't know, and I'd imagine since they're saying that they want him to be the actual franchisee of this thing, that he's not going to be a total bad guy, but he does play a burned CIA agent. So I'd imagine there's going to be opportunity for him to choose scenery of some kind, or depending on the concept that actually gets him burned, maybe he's going to be some kind of anti-hero type of thing happening.
Yeah, I see this very like Bourne Identity, like the Bourne series, but without a book having so much backing into it, which gives the story more free range.
Yeah. Absolutely. And you're right. The players involved are all fantastic. I don't think, and I believe that I believe that the script has to be top tier for some of these actors to want to be in it, for sure. Like, and I definitely want to see Billy Bob Thornton do something in something like this. There hasn't been a lot of times where I've seen Billy Bob like be like in these kind of big franchise movies, but anytime I have seen him in those kind of movies, like the one that comes into mind is fucking Armageddon. I fucking love Billy Bob in fucking Armageddon. Right, he plays the guy who's at Houston, who's like the point guy to the intermediary. He's the guy that gets him on board and shit. Yeah, he's like an amazing actor. I haven't seen him do much, but when he's in an action flick, he always brings it. Right, he's a really solid character actor that brings some really solid nuance.
I just remember him at Monsters Ball. Expect. Remember Monsters Ball with Halle Berry?
I do remember. Yeah.
Oh man, like that was that guy, he was strong in that movie, and that was just hard to watch sometimes in moments. And I was like, man, this guy's good, because he's making this hard to watch because he's so into his character. And like, yeah, I like Billy Bob. This concept is going to be interesting because it gives them more free range than they've had before. They have less limitations. What did you think of their job that they did in the Avengers series? Did they do Winter Soldier?
They did Winter Soldier, I believe. I don't know if it was the first one that they did, the first Marvel movie. It may have been. I know they did a Captain America movie first. I think they did fantastic, and I think
like Winter Soldier. I just say that maybe.
I don't know. It was well. The thing about Winter Soldier was also like it was a real like that's probably why they're going back to this, because that was an espionage movie, right? That was they likened it to a Cold War thriller when it came out, which you could totally feel as well. I think these guys are really competent storytellers, and I believe they do make very intuitive decisions that inform the action to actually inform the story. More like a really good Michael Bay movie, not like a really bad Michael Bay movie. In that they really infuse the action with character that also informs plot, right? I love that about their style and the things that they do. They also are really good actor directors. I think they are able to get really good performances from their actors, which again you can also feel on the screen and the way that it feels the actual action as well. I also really like the fact that there's two of them. I think directing is a very hard job, and especially directing an Avengers movie, I think, is a very difficult job to do. I realize Joss Whedon is now an asshole. I think the first Avengers movie is a fucking masterpiece, and no one else could have done it. Because he had lived, breathed, and been in that world for so damn long. He is a comic book writer. He is a man who has lived with those characters. And Marvel, I think, did the right choice of giving him that concept. And I think Kevin Feige, the Lord and Savior of the entire Marvel universe, made the decision to bring Joe and Anthony Russo on board because of the job that they did. I'm not sure if it was the Winter Soldier that was the first one. I know it was a Captain America movie that was their first movie. He saw their prowess on being able to tell a story and the fact that they were able to handle the action. And not only handle the action, but bring the action to a whole nother level. Because the action that they brought in was visceral, more than like Joss Whedon's work did, or Jon Favreau stuff that he did, or any of the other Marvel directors. Because Joe and Anthony Russo, I think, come from a background of wanting to do action espionage flicks. And within that, they used a lot of the techniques that was created during a lot of the Thai action movies, where they actually brought in some of like Ip Man is one of the movies that comes to mind. The Raid, fucking great movie, where it's visceral hand-to-hand combat, but the camera is out and you can see all of the action and happening. Not like, let's zoom in on the fucking hands, and then let's zoom in on the face, and then let's zoom in on the leg, and then let's zoom in on this thing that's about to get broke. Okay, let's do that, and then let's zoom back on the face again, and then no, they brought the camera out. They taught those actors exactly what they needed to do on the set, and they moved through the entire action while actually witnessing the entire body of the actors as they're fighting. That is that stuff is really fucking cool. And I think all of that put together is the reason why I think this is going to be fun. And I think it's going to be a really interesting cat and mouse chase between Chris Evans' like bravado and Ryan Gosling's just start coolness. And the thing about Ryan Gosling that I like is that he always brings something you don't expect. And I'm interested to see what he can do with this. I don't know anything about his character, but Ryan Gosling is a fucking incredible actor. And I don't think we've really seen him do an action movie in this vein before. So I'm excited for that aspect. I mean, the closest thing that I can think of is The Driver, which if you've seen The Driver, holy shit, that is not a usual character.
Well, I can't remember what there was it wasn't a real sequel, but it was just like it was the same director and Ryan Gosling, and they did another movie besides Drive, and I just can't remember what it was called.
It was Neon Demon, I believe it was.
It was what?
I believe it was called Neon Demon. I could be wrong. But it was set in Japan.
Yeah. Like I don't know if that's the name, but like you're right. It was like set in Japan. I don't know. It was, Only God Forgives.
Only God Forgives.
It's the one I'm thinking of. Only God Forgives, and it's crazy. But
Ryan Gosling has the chops to do an action movie of this caliber, for sure. We know Chris Evans does as well.
Yeah, and he's always just gotten typecasted into rom-coms, obviously because
he's a beautiful man. I mean, I'm a heterosexual 6'0" person, and I can tell you right now.
He has the biggest hit, the Notebook. He made good stuff.
He's a really good-looking guy, and he's a really fucking good actor.
Did you ever watch The Nice Guys?
I watched. I don't remember it a lot, but I for sure have seen it.
I've seen it, like bits and pieces of it. I kind of liked it because it was kind of fun. It was fun watching him with like Fat Gladiator.
Russell Crowe, Fat Russell Crowe. Yeah.
And
man, hey, not everybody can be fucking Tom Cruise, killing it and being hot and sexy at almost 60. It's fucking. It's that man. Scientology has done him well.
But I think after La La Land, he got to his actual award winning. There's actors who come into the game and they never reach the status of like getting to the Academy Awards or doing anything. They kind of like, I don't want to say like it's because this is not the same, but like Leonardo DiCaprio kind of trapped himself in one place for a lot of his career, and then he made it big, and then like stuff really started blowing up for him. And I think that's kind of like that's something that's not a great example, but I think that's like kind of happening to Ryan right now, and Chris Evans also, is that like they've kind of been making these small time, really good rom coms and other stuff, smaller projects. And like once they really hit it big, and I think Chris Evans hit it, obviously he's a big name actor because of the Marvel universe. Um, and I think he's kind of done with that, obviously, for the time being. So now he can branch out into the projects that he really wants to do. And I think Ryan Gosling, once he hit La La Land and got to, to get nominated for Best Picture and all that stuff, I think he's now like in that spot in his career where he can go out and do stuff that he really wants to do now as well. I think that's why we got something like Blade Runner, which is a very
Yeah.
interesting concept, and he had never done that kind of thing before.
Mm.
And so I'm kind of excited, really excited to see like these two guys kind of do their first, like kind of venture off of something different than what we are really used to seeing them in.
Yeah. I think you're totally hitting the nail on the head there as well. But at the same time, this is kind of a concept that Chris Evans has been in, right? Chris Evans has definitely done action films of this caliber, but I don't believe that Chris Evans has ever really done any like big action movies, not an Avengers movie, which is interesting, I think. And the projects that he's currently picking right now, it's funny, like everything you talked about actually kind of keys me into something about Leonardo DiCaprio that's really interesting, because it kind of like goes in the vein of what you're talking about. So so by way of I'm sorry, who's the kid who was in Neighbors? Zac Efron. I know bringing up Zac Efron is a weird thing, but Zac Efron said that he got a really good piece of advice from Leonardo DiCaprio. He said to Zac Efron, "Don't do big budget movies. Don't only do those, because if you do, one's going to fail and your career is going to go belly up. You should do small independent movies, do things that you want to do that are small and that, get your rocks off, but also aren't big tentpole movies, and get roles that are diverse and different, instead of just always going for the nth degree great project that your agents want you to have," right? And I think that piece of advice is probably a way of thinking that I think Ryan Gosling has definitely put himself into lately as well, because he definitely made his money as being the teenage hunk in teen movies, and then obviously The Notebook blew up and he was into a bunch of rom-coms, and he's been in rom-coms here and there, but
He's been doing this for a long
yeah
time.
yeah, he's recently, in the last 5, 10, maybe last decade, honestly, has picked projects that are not big budget studio films, but have really been artistic, really out there, and has trusted filmmakers to kind of do their own things. The Driver is a really big fucking example of it. La La Land is like, who the fuck expected that movie? Like that's it's subversion of it's a subversion of like 4 different genres at once. It's a musical, it's a rom-com, but it's also a fucking like Hollywood thriller. It's just, I fucking love Ryan Gosling. I think that's what I'm finding out in this video. I fucking love Ryan Gosling, his fucking choices. And I just want to see him in a fucking action movie where we can have some dumb fucking fun, directed by the guys who did Avengers and fighting Captain America. I'm fucking in.
So I think it's funny because I've always liked, and this is kind of like, I'm going to go the other way with you. I've always liked Chris Evans. I feel like Chris Evans, he's like, he could have failed and been outcasted from the movie world first movie I'm looking at right now, Fantastic Four.
He hasn't done good. Yeah.
No, Fantastic Four could have killed his career. Like, it literally could have just like buried him. We wouldn't even know who he was if somebody obviously didn't like him. He did things like Push, which I thought was a really good movie. Like, and then he comes back and does, Scott Pilgrim versus the World. which became a cult classic.
Love that
Became,
movie.
it was awesome. And then he gets his Captain America and the Avengers and stuff like that. But during that, he's like, cool, I'm also going to do movies like Snowpiercer, which was, I can't say that guy. I forget that guy's
Bong
name.
Joon-ho.
Yeah, that guy's. It was, one of his
Stop
early.
Asian hate, by the way.
You what?
Stop
Yeah.
Asian hate.
Hashtag.
Hashtag.
That's real. But yeah, he does Snowpiercer. He picks his projects, and he picked his projects really well outside of the comic universe. He only did Snowpiercer, and then MCU movie, Before We Go, which was a great indie movie. I'm sorry, yeah, it was a great indie movie with Alice Eve. And then he does MCU movie. He does Gifted, and I can't think of the lady who's in Gifted. It's with oh, that can't be right. Do you know what I'm talking about? Octavia Spencer is the person.
Yeah.
So he does it with Octavia Spencer. Then he does MCU movie, and then Knives Out. Knives Out has one of the best casts in a movie that I've seen in a really long time. It is a great ensemble cast. He doesn't do stuff that's just like big movies. And I really like what you said, what Leo said, because he really does fine pick his smaller budget movies to give him that counterbalance. And I think it makes him. I think it just makes him better. I think he's a great actor. I think they're gonna kill it.
Yeah. It's just how let's bring it to the last portion of this thing. I think we both are on the same page here. We just want to see this project, and we like everyone involved. I think it's gonna be interesting. It's just that thing about them wanting to create a franchise. Like it's just that thing where you enter into a project knowing you have other things that you want to do with it, but you don't fully realize that. And I want them to make this movie in a way that you do not know there's going to be a sequel. You know what I mean? I want it to be a complete story, right? A complete story that you don't have any lingering plot devices that are just waiting for the next movie to come out to fill in the gaps and finish. I think that's dangerous because you can feel that in some movies. The most notably, you remember Jump with Hayden Christensen? That movie was meant to be turn into a whole franchise.
That's funny that you say that, because I always get what the movie that I mentioned, Push. I always got them confused because they came out almost identically, like on the same weekend. They came out the same weekend, and people were like, "Are you talking about Jump or Push?" Because, like, honestly, in Jump, the guy pushes, and in Push, he like jumps, and like it's real. It was really confusing.
Yeah, I hope it's good. But yeah, that aspect, it scares me. It fucking scares me. It's also going to be a Netflix exclusive, if I'm not mistaken. So,
Well, see, and that's where, oh man, don't get me back on this again. But that's where the concept changes totally, because if we were talking about a big budget movie, I think you're absolutely right. We're going to have to worry about, is this going to be good enough to actually make a franchise out of it? But if it's just a Netflix thing, I mean, people will watch it. You can come out. You can be 75% of the good movie that you used to be in theaters, and a lot of people are going to watch it on Netflix because it's on demand. It's right there at their fingertips.
Yeah, 100%, 100%. Man, but in the same vein, maybe it'll be good. Maybe people will watch it, and maybe these guys will actually birth something that's going to be great. They've been trying to do this. They tried to do this with Thor. Jesus Christ, there's somebody shooting outside my window. Sorry. They tried to do this with Thor. I forget the movie it was called, but that was also a Netflix exclusive, it was an okay movie. It wasn't great, but they were trying to make that into a franchise as well. And you can when a filmmaker makes a movie, right? They put all of their heart and soul into it because it's the fucking vision that they want to realize. And that was before sequels were a big thing, you know? Now with like sequels being a possibility, it's like you make these big outlandish story devices that are amazing and will fulfill an amazing story. And then you just like, you play with half of them and then you wait for the next movie to play with the rest of them. Instead of putting just all of the good shit in the one movie, now you're waiting for the next one to possibly get made. And then, you know, it may not get made. And I want the Russo brothers to just...
Extraction. Okay, so I didn't know that they were behind that.
Cool. Yeah, Extraction. Yep. That's the other one, yeah, for sure. So, yeah.
With the other Chris. They're using all the Chris's. Like, hey,
all the Chris's, man. If we were like a white chiseled dude named Chris, we could just go to Hollywood tomorrow. I can make it.
Right. We could. Chris Evans is the only one missing from the Star Trek. They should have just got him for Star Trek somehow.
He was in the first one.
No, they got.
Oh wait, no, you're right.
You're right. Chris Pine, Chris Hemsworth.
That's right. You're right. You're right. All the fucking Chris's are in that movie. Yeah, for sure. Yeah, man. I hope it's good.
They're gonna bring back that Star Trek. I think they're gonna bring back Hemsworth for.
They're trying to, and I don't think it's gonna happen. I don't think it's gonna happen.
I know.
All right, ladies and gentlemen.
I
think we did it. We did it. Thank you. Thank you for watching. Please like, comment, subscribe. What other weird project do you want the Russos to try to turn into a franchise? Maybe they'll take your idea and actually try.
Tom and Jerry. I think they need to be on Tom and Jerry too.
Hell yeah. I got a little side project called the R&D Show where I do a little bit of independent journalism, interviews and such as well. And we are also available on all of the podcasting platforms, Kinetic Impressions. Please follow us, like us, say something to us, please. We're just talking to the void here. Drew, what do we say?
Oh man, go fucking watch a movie.
Go fucking watch your movie.